Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a topic on should Static Shock TV show fans read the Static Shock Season 1 comic book. So finally, we have the Static comic book that has come out. They are revamping Milestone, and Static, of course, is the first comic to come out with that. It was a little delayed because originally it was going to be a digital first comic, and then people said, "Hey, we want this printed. We don't want it digital first," and they listened to the fans, and they're like, "Okay, we're going to make it a printed comic." And the thing I wanted to talk about with this video is if you were a fan of the TV show, will you like the comic? Because I remember when I watched the TV show, I've loved comics all my life, and when I saw it as a child, I was like, I want to get a Static Shock comic, because at that time I was reading comics as well, and I was reading other stuff like X-Men comics or whatever, Spider-Man comics because of the movies. So I wanted a Static comic, and I remember reading that first issue. I'm like, oh, this is really different from the TV show. It had a different tone. It was just a very different vibe. So I feel like in recent years, in New 52, they've tried to meld what was great about the Milestone comics and what was great about the television show, where I feel like a lot of people that know Static Shock probably knows him a little bit more from the television show. So, and that's how he made his name. And I think this book did a decent job at trying to make it familiar to the show. You have a pretty similar supporting cast. You have Richie, you have the love interest, Frida. You have the sister, who definitely feels a lot like the sister from the show. The dad also feels very similar to the show. The difference being that it looks like the mom's actually alive in the comics. I'm curious to see where that's going to end up going. And a big difference, and I guess a disappointment for me, is that I feel like Virgil is really pushing people away. The one thing I really loved about the show is that he had a support system. And I'm not saying he didn't keep his secrets. The dad didn't know for a long time, and the sister didn't know, I don't think, ever in the show. So they do know in the comics. That's a big difference as well. A lot of people actually know from the beginning, which I also like. The secret keeping is fun, but sometimes it's nice to have a good supporting cast. But yeah, Virgil's really pushing everyone away because this is like the first week that he has these powers. He's like, I don't want to hurt anybody. He's definitely a little bit more angsty than the show. And I do hope they build the supporting cast a little bit stronger because you do have some really great characters here. And will we get to see more Bang Babies as well? The show did a great job with Richie being a Bang Baby. Will we see more of that? More female characters as Bang Babies as well. They touched upon it on the show a little bit, but I'd love to see the comic do that even more. So I think it has a real big potential to be like the show, but still be its own thing, and also still keep the vibe of the Milestone comics, because something I really enjoyed about the artwork was that it had a brighter vibe like the show, but it still was pretty dark, and that's something that the comic was. It was a little bit grittier. So I like that the artwork was a marriage of both. It was still gritty, but also kind of had this more cartoony feel to it. So I think it has a big potential to be a good comic for fans of the show and also fans of the comic book, but it really is going to have to rely on that supporting cast and build that supporting cast as this comic goes on. And I hope that's something that does happen as Virgil gets used to his powers. And of course, I want to see him have that classic, trash can lid flying moment. So hopefully we get to see that as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Let me know in the comments below, are you going to read the new Static Shock comic book, and what do you want to see from it? So yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Definitely go check out my Twitter and Facebook. Go check out my comics like Father Like Daughter and They Call Her the Dancer. And every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time is Comic Book Weekly, where we discuss our favorite comics and comic book news. Thanks, guys. Bye.